Hello, welcome back again to Fallen Timbers. My name is Jared. Today I am here with another great lesson to give to you guys to do about living and non-living things. Earlier this week I did a lesson on life cycles, and during that I touched on living versus non-living things. And we went around some different things in this room here, the discovery room at Fallen Timbers, to decide if those things were living or non-living. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip that video in right here so you can watch that. Now, all living things in nature eat, breathe, and grow. All right, so let's write those down. So living things in nature eat, breathe, and grow. All right, so eat, breathe, and grow. So let's go through a couple of examples to just make sure that we understand that we know that something is a living thing. So let's think about us. Okay, are we living things? Yeah, we are. Do we eat? Yeah, we eat lots of different things. Do we breathe? Yep. And do we grow? Definitely. We start off as a little baby and we grow up into an adult eventually. Okay, so we are living things. Now let's start thinking about some animals out in nature. Let's think about my friend the deer here. All right, does this deer eat? Yep. Do they breathe? And then do they grow? Yeah, they start off as a little tiny fawn and they grow up into a big adult deer like this one here. All right, let's think about my friend the owl here. So does this owl eat? Yeah, they love to eat little tiny mice. And a fun fact about this one, this great horned owl, they actually like to eat skunks. It's kind of gross. All right. Do our great horned owls breathe? Yes, they do. And do they grow? Yep, they start off as a little tiny baby owlet, and then they grow up into a big owl like this guy here. All right, let's move on to something else. How about the fish? Okay, this is a walleye. All right, do walleyes eat? Yeah, they like to eat other little tiny fish like minnows and stuff like that. Do they breathe? Well, they don't really breathe like we do. They don't have lungs. They actually have these things called gills back here on their cheeks. And they breathe in the oxygen that's inside of the water. So they do breathe. All right, and do they grow? Yes, they start off as a little tiny baby walleye and they grow up into be a big walleye like this one right here. Okay, now let's think about one that's a little bit more tricky. How about this plant? Okay, I just went and picked this outside. Does this plant eat? Well, they don't eat hot dogs and hamburgers like we do. Okay, they actually use the sun to get their energy. All right, so they actually use the sun's energy to grow. All right, so plants do eat and they do grow. Now, do plants breathe? That's another one that's kind of tricky. They don't breathe like we do with our lungs. They actually breathe in something called carbon dioxide and they breathe out oxygen, the stuff that we breathe in. So they do the opposite of what we do. So plants do eat, they do breathe, and they do grow. Okay, so they are living things. All right, now how about this? This is a rock or like a brick. Okay, is this a living thing? I don't think so. All right, let's go through the questions. So does this rock eat? No. Does this rock breathe? No. And then does this rock grow? No, it's going to stay the same size. All right, so this is not a living thing. So now that you can decide if something is living versus non-living, we have an activity for you to do outside. So Sarah created this worksheet here for you to use. There's two different parts to it. The first part here goes through those questions that we just went through in that clip, deciding if something eats, breathes, or grows. All right, so there's 5 different things here for you to go through with your students, and then circling yes or no if that thing does eat, if it does breathe, or if it does grow. After that, down here, we have a couple boxes for you to go on a nature hike And you can find things out in nature that you see with your eyes, and you can decide if those things are living or if they're non-living. But remember, go back through those questions and decide if that thing does eat, if it does breathe, and if it does grow. You need yes to all of those questions to make sure that that is a living thing. All right. For the parents, you might have to help explain some of these things to your students. Plants are a very difficult thing to understand because they don't breathe like we do and they don't get their energy like we do, but they still get their energy from the sun, and they use carbon dioxide to breathe rather than oxygen like we do. So get outside, work through this worksheet, send us what you find, and continue to have fun outdoors. This weekend's supposed to be beautiful, so I really hope that you put to use these activities that we're creating for you. All right, have a good one.